the microphone on YouTube. Live stream is starting at 9:30. I'm not in a hurry to get in a trade prior to 9:30. We're still in this choppy London mess. We have equal lows at the low of the day. And if we compare that to NQ, similar story. Hang on, let me open up the ICT all-in-one indicator here quickly. And turn on the London kill zone box. Because, yeah, if we compare ES to NQ and only look at current day's price action, we can see Asia consolidation on both ES and NQ. Though NQ moved away further from that Asia session, relatively speaking, and therefore retraced less, didn't go back above the midnight level. ES did, but did not take out Asia buy side, so that Asia kill zone box high, and then eventually got back below the London session low, while NQ didn't do that. So we have lots of equal lows. If we get a nice setup with that, this is a very obvious draw on liquidity. We have slight SMT divergence here between ES and NQ, because NQ already took out the London session high right here during the New York kill zone at 8:50, 8:30. Right here, higher high, lower high, lower low, higher low. We will see how that plays out. Take a look at the DXY. The DXY keeps going up. So let's see. Let's follow this on a 1 minute time frame. Trading view is a bit laggy for my liking. I'm gonna restart that quickly. We have PMI news and job openings at 10 a.m. New York local time. So we will just see what we get until then. Let's see, let everything load. Yeah, a little bit smoother. All right, 1 minute fair value gap inversion. Buy side liquidity right above here. Earlier during London, I can only speak about myself. You mean the news event? Well, let's hope. I'm usually not a fan of holding through news, but well, if you done your higher time frame analysis, it really shouldn't screw with it, ideally. I guess you entered short somewhere around here on that fair value gap, or maybe volume imbalance, to target the previous day's low, where we have equal low sell side on Euro US dollar. I could see that. And Elliott triangle, okay. All right. A 15-minute time frame. Keep an eye on both ES and NQ. I also have Bookmap open. What do I think about gold right now? Let me open it up here quickly. I don't have much experience with gold. I haven't really been trading it, but right now it's looking short. Let the indicator load up. 15-minute time frame. Daily candle opened up. London sell-off. 8:30. I would look forward to target the previous day's low. Relative equal lows down here. Not sure if we're gonna see a continuation, maybe back to the upside with the news event. That depends on the DXY really. Asia forming the high of the day, but yeah, like I said, I don't have much experience with gold. I would simply follow price action right here. Oh yeah, I remember that was the new day opening. Now I don't really like how gold is moving. But if you do, like, I mean, just do you, and I do me. I'm not much of an help if looking at gold, to be really honest. All right, 5-minute time frame, bullish value gap. We're just reacting from that. But I'm gonna wait until news. We have buy side liquidity above coming in at 4569.5 or 4570. The high of the day is coming in at 4573. Asia session high, London session high, equal low sell side, relative equal low buy side. Going forward from here, let's get rid of these fair value gaps. Only looking at the fair value gaps that have been used as support already. So right here we have a inversion fair value gap on the 5. We close above. We close right at the low at 930. Now ideally we would like to see this to hold support, aligned with the 925 AM bullish fair value gap. But I'm not gonna engage on that. I just made it back out of drawdown. If you remember this morning's live stream, I've been down $500. I recovered this with this, with the short right here. Left shoulder, head, market structure shift, forming the right shoulder. I got in right here on this bearish fair value gap, targeting London sell side. Here's where I took most of my profit. And then really I had one more contract left to target this low. We had the pullback right here. I haven't been stopped out and we hit the low again, and then I closed the other position right here on this volume imbalance because I was annoyed. It's already 7:40. I wanted to have some lunch and just didn't want to continue further to my target. But that's not bad because now we can look forward to target that for the New York session. Take a look at NQ. So NQ is already leading here at the midnight level now, while ES is still lagging behind, we could say. Bullish fair value gap. Take a look at the 1-minute time frame. Market structure shift right here on the 1 minute. I don't like the equal lows though, so I'm not gonna engage on this one just yet. I promised myself to not engage prior to the news, but this would be a decent setup. We have a bearish fair value gap, we close above. Now inversion fair value gap with a bullish fair value gap below, but of course also equal lows below. NQ already above the London session high. Yes, is still playing around here. Also with relative equal lows here on NQ. If you like the setup, take it. But I'm not gonna be so quick right now. Yeah, I saw that gold took the all-time high in one candle at Sunday open, and then we immediately reversed away from that. I saw a few tweets on Twitter, manipulation. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a gold trader, and I'm just a index futures trader. I could care less about what gold is doing. But, well, I'd say it's interesting, at least. Pump up and immediate lump down. Trigger stop orders that were waiting to buy the breakout above the all-time high. Well, the futures contract didn't take out the all-time high, so maybe some shady CFD broker did take out the all-time high because of low or poor liquidity. Not the futures contract. That's what I would use as my reference. Turn on EU again. That weekly target has been hit. Let's go back to the 15. Yeah, so far this week we haven't seen a nice setup. During a session, I think we tried to go long of this bullish fair value gap or inversion right here. That didn't play out. Last week was quite nice, but this week so far, not so much. And I'm, just I prefer focusing on ES. Makes my life a lot easier. Master of one instead of master of none. Looking at 10 different charts at the same time. Yeah, like Agent Smith always says here on Discord, learn to dance with one partner before you take on 10 partners, basically. That's why I can say I don't care about what gold is doing. I honestly don't care at all. Even EU, I'm only looking for specific patterns on EU, but I'm not trying to, trade it like I trade the indices. I like how indices move. Huge fan of that. And it makes sense to me. I've been doing that for a long time now, so I used to have a huge watch list, and then I'm looking for the 2022 setup on gold, oil, ES, NQ, EU, GU, GJ, Canadian dollar, US dollar. I don't know. I don't think it's actually beneficial. Maybe to the well-seasoned trader who's been doing this for a long time with a bucket full of, commodities or assets to watch. For the beginner trader, more than one chart is too much, in my opinion. At least if you trade on a time frame that's lower than the 15-minute time frame. If you look at your 4-hour chart across, let's say, gold, EU, and ES, for example, and oil, and you wait for something to set up on the 4-hour, and then you lower it down to the 5 or 1 minute time frame to get your entry. That's good. But trying to watch the 5 and 1 minute time frame across multiple charts, well, you're either gonna burn out of mental capital, or you're gonna blow out because there's just too many opportunities. Like, oh shit, gold is turning around, but you should really be focusing on your ES trade right now. Okay, now NQ is turning around. I'm back at break even. Nah. Sounds like a lot of headaches. Alright, 1 minute time frame. Not doing much. 9:43. Keep in mind 10 a.m. PMI news. DXY keeps on expanding towards the previous day's high. NQ also keeps going back up. Yes, it's still respecting the 5-minute bullish fair value gap. Back above the bearish fair value gap we left behind here. Wait for the 5-minute candle to close. Mentioned this. Breaker block right here. This up closing candle. Would have preferred the sweep though, to be honest, of these lows instead of leaving behind more equal lows. Buy side above all these short-term highs. Five-minute candle closed. Back above the bullish fair value gap. No, I'm not gonna engage. I'm fine for now. Let it do what it wants to do. 1 minute time frame. Let's look at a 2 minute. 1 minute retrace into this bullish fair value gap. This could be a potential play. We can paper trade this if we want. Stop loss 2.5 points. Target 5 towards the midnight level. That's why I said paper trade. I already have the instinct developed for ES that I don't have with EU and GU and GC and gold and oil and blah blah blah. That's why I'm not much of a help if you ask me what do I think about gold. Yes, it's just a fun ride to be on. All right, EU took out the equal odds. Nice, more sell side below. No, we're back inside of the FOMC, pump to the upside, I think. Yeah, that's the FOMC, Tuesday the 14th of November. Continued higher, we're below the sell side, right here. Yeah, basically in the middle of nowhere here. Next liquidity pool or the next area of interest here on EU if we go to a higher time frame. Liquidity void might be this old high. Something around this area. We have all these relative equal lows down here as sell side. That's far away. All right, we closed below the bullish fair value gap. Didn't form a new lower low and immediately engulfed. Bearish volume imbalance, that's looking nice. Looks like ES might be ready to push now. EU, I don't care about EU, let's focus on ES. Immediate rebalance, not leaving behind a new inefficiency. Check it out on a 5-minute time frame. Nice low formation here. That's the 8:30 open. Now I'm not gonna chase this with a volume imbalance entry. Let's paper trade it though. Volume imbalance entry, 2.5 point stop. Target the midnight for a quick 1-to-1. Equal high buy side. 9:30 AM high. Let's see if we can leave that open here. That would be ideal. Otherwise, I would likely cancel the long position here. Leave it open. Ideally, also close above this high, targeting more buy side. Okay, we don't leave it open. Take a small loss here. 2-minute time frame. Yeah, nah. I think I've been doing a pretty good job to just paper trade most of this. But like we said, 5-minute bullish fair value gap, stop below the low. The only thing I don't like about that personally is the equal low sell side and the previous day's low just below that. And in less than 10 minutes or in 10 minutes, we have a PMI news event. I want to give the trade at least 15 to 20 minutes time for it to hit my potential target. And if I have a news event in the way of that, of course it could run into that before, but it could also just keep on consolidating before that. And then the news comes in, hits my stop loss and walks up anyway. Prefer looking for something post. In Q almost at the Asia session high. Almost back at the high of the day. 5-minute time frame. No new inefficiency other than this one. No inversion fair value gap here. Let's take a look at our volume point of control. Right around here. There's not much volume at these areas or at these highs, so we could easily just smack through them. Really, majority of the volume has been put in place here. Let's take a look at bookmap 10 minutes before news. Live ES futures. Some liquidity at 4595. Where's the previous day's low coming in at 4553. So let's check that out. 4553. Doesn't really stand out here. 4595, 477 orders. 4595. Yesterday's London session high. And looking at the bigger picture, I'm not worried about missing out on anything so far. We haven't even left the PM session range here. This retracement. Wait until after news. NQ still continuing further to the upside. EU DXY is starting to reject above the previous day's high. Let's follow ES here. Any questions? Let's close bookmap here. Might be slowing down me here too much. That's just a free live stream. I don't really use it often. I like to reference it once or to be honest, today is the first time again that I have been using it. Not really using it, just looking at it. But no, I used to have a bookmap subscription. I'm a strong believer that you don't need it. It's a nice to have, but not a must have in my opinion. Alright, we close above the midnight level. So our 5-minute bullish fair value gap kept up holding, and we delivered through our bearish fair value gaps that I used earlier for the short. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ took out the Asia session high, almost at the high of the day inside this gray box, the new day opening gap. 5-minute couldn't close above the midnight level yet on ES. Last 5 minutes before news. This would now be a inversion fair value gap. So from here on, drawn liquidity, London buy side, take a long entry right here, target that buy side. But I'm just, once again, taking a paper trade, giving it some room to breathe, 2.5 points. 5-minute inversion, fair value gap, old high, paired with a new bullish fair value gap. We enter right on that area, with our drawn liquidity being Asia and London buy side. Now we closed above the 5-minute bearish on the 1-minute time frame. Let's see if we move before we hit the news candle. 9:56. Our initial entry right here, 2.5 points, would have hit the midnight level without hitting a stop loss of the volume imbalance. I just don't like. I would prefer that volume imbalance to be open, left behind open, instead of closing it back in. Very specific with, I'm quick to enter, but even quicker to exit my trades if I don't see what I want to see. And that's where I can keep my losing trades small and my winners usually big. So in Q cleared the high of the day. Q has been on a run. The high of the day is coming in on ES at 4573. That's just 8 points away from where we're at right now. 9:57. Yeah. Bearish volume imbalance. Short-term high cleared. Stop loss would have been hit. Not a good call. So what do you guys think? Move to the upside on ES or to the downside? I want to see how volatile the PMI news event is going to be. Already see a divergence between ES and NQ. NQ being much stronger, while ES is still inside the London session range. One and a half more minutes to go before news. Nope, no new questions on YouTube. Let's keep it rolling. Let me put Discord on my main screen here. But Bookmap isn't free. Only the live stream there on YouTube is. Well, it's the same way. Like, I used to have Bookmap. I used to have it open on a different screen of mine, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think you would really need that unless your entire system evolves around Bookmap and the Bookmap liquidity, or the orders that, yeah, basically the order book that you see right in front of you. But I came from, just for myself, came to the conclusion, it's like if you're a carpenter or a handyman, buying a new hammer isn't going to make you the best handyman in town. So buying a new tool like Bookmap doesn't make you the best trader around just because you purchased a new tool. You have to become a trader. Alright, so we took out the high of the day and Q kept going above the yesterday's PM session high. EU immediately reversed. I hope you took your profit, Volker. We hit the low of the day, the equal low sell side, or at least a partial. Go on with all the trades. The XY heading lower. How far did we retrace now? No extreme manipulation wick to the downside that would have stopped us out. We closed right above the high of the day, so that's interesting. Right here, PM session buy side would be on ES right above here. Mm, 5-minute time frame. Low of day still right here. Let's extend it over to 11 a.m. See if we reference that later on. Low of day, our breaker block that we've already used. We retraced and retested our Asia session high right here to the tick and rejected from that area. Now we're holding support after closing above our new day opening gap. We keep holding support here. Next target, PM buy side liquidity. And we run into that very quickly. The XY must really be dropping, yeah. What's the time? It's 10:02. Let's wait for that first 5-minute news candle. Maybe look for some higher time frame buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity. We swept the high of the day. This is our PM buy side. And we would have all these short-term highs here to the left. 1 hour time frame. 1 hour bearish fair value gap right in here. Let's track that one out. But after PM buy side, next real target would be 8 a.m. high from yesterday. Really? Let's just follow it step by step. PM buy side lining up with a 1 hour bearish fair value gap in here. Go back to the 1 minute. So we hit PM buy side to the tick. Take a next look at the XY. Almost back to the low of the day. EU swept the equal lows. And the previous day's low, moving back towards the high of the day. NQ also still bullish. Let's watch that on a higher time frame. SMT divergence at the lows right here. ES made a lower low, while NQ made a higher low right here. Equal high PM buy side. Bullish fair value gap coming in right here. That's a new 5-minute candle. 1 minute time frame. Let's see if we hold that or if we close below. We close below, so we could be looking for potential resistance from this area, looking for a deeper retracement into maybe our inefficiency from the news candle. So confirmed inversion fair value gap. Now let's see if we can get back below the new day opening gap. Still not worth risking it to me. Here on ES. My intuition tells me to wait. That might even be waiting until the PM session if I don't see anything that I really like, that I feel comfortable taking until 11 a.m. Just gonna come back for the PM session afterwards. No issues at all. Let's see if we have anything on YouTube. Nope, no questions. Let's keep on going. Right now we have a bearish fair value gap. Nah. Let's see where that first 15-minute candle is going to close. I'm not really in a rush right now. Be interested to see if we clear that PM equal high buy side, but for the short term, right now, price not respecting bullish discounts, leaving behind bearish discounts. That's bearish fair value gap. If we keep on respecting that, I could see us to retrace a little bit deeper into this inefficiency right here. Back into last week's new week opening gap here, this white area right around 4568.5. Could also be taking a look at even a smaller time frame. Here we would have a 30-second time frame displacement, paired with a 30-second bearish value gap. That's your market structure shift model. We saw that same thing on the 1 minute. So 5-point target to the slow could be something to look out for. Higher high, higher low, higher high, market structure shift, displacement, bearish fair value gap, inversion fair value gap right here. I'm usually not a fan of dropping down to the 30 seconds, but in this case, it was interesting to see what's happening inside of those 1 minute candles. But we were able to frame that. Stop loss would have been up here, max, target 5 points. We're still playing around the new day opening gap. Take a look at NQ. Q is already way past that PM session high. But also kind of in the middle of nowhere inside 2 1-hour bearish fair value gaps right here. Higher high, lower low, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low. Yeah. Let's just stick to what we do best. Okay, so we closed once again at the low of the new day opening gap, but we keep on showing some support here. If this fails, could look for a retracement back to the midnight, back to this old high. London session high and Asia session high coming in right around this area. Guess that could be a 30-second SilverBullet setup. take buy side, but we didn't really take PM session buy side, but we got our displacement, bearish value gap, blah blah blah. Last level of defense before we continue lower into the short-term low would be the new day opening gap. Check out the 2-minute. 2-minute bullish value gap. 5-minute bullish value gap below here. But risk management wise, I don't think taking a long of the 5-minute would be really attractive. PM buy side, a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Let's see if we get the first close below the new day opening gap. Looks like it. Right now we're inside that 5-minute. Let's take a look at the 15. The 15-minute candle didn't close just yet. It's going to happen within the next 3 minutes. Close below the new day opening gap. 5-point target would have been hit. Done. Now let's see how deep we can retrace. We have 2 more minutes on a 15-minute candle. Midnight level would be the next target. Is anyone in a trade right now? Anything interesting that I missed? One of the guys had a correct prediction last Friday. Yes, I remember. AM8 on our Discord, he predicted last week that ES is going to close at 495. Let me check. Let me take a look. I already gave him the VIP roll. To the tick. Once again. A 5-minute time frame, bullish value gap. Yeah, last week we closed right at 4604, and he predicted that we're gonna close at 4604.25. So just off by one single tick. Really close. It was crazy because last Friday we did a little giveaway for a VIP membership. And yeah, therefore we took some guesses on where ES is going to close for the week. And yeah, most of us were somewhere in the middle field. A few people were looking for lower prices on that day. And one subscriber actually managed to, almost, tell us the exact closing price to the tick. And we took those answers at around 11 a.m. So right around this time, he predicted that we're gonna close right here off by one tick. Of course, luck. We'll get that. All right, so we retrace deeper into that 1 minute. 5-minute time frame. I think the 15-minute candle is going to close, in 25 seconds, leaving behind a big rejection here. Let's take a look at NQ. There hasn't been anything super obvious yet, other than maybe the potential short, but therefore I would have liked to see the side to be actually taken out with a wick. Then I would have tried that bearish value gap. Just took a paper trade based on that. So like this. 5 points. Previous week's new week opening gap. We also looked at the 30-second market structure shift bearish value gap. The DXY also had a big rejection wick here on the 15 of our new day opening gap right here. Took out the London session low right there. Didn't make it to the low of the day. Asia sell side, but neither did EU. A 5-minute time frame. Let's take a look at NQ. Q really showing strength here, but now also back inside. That's our previous week's high, is it? Yeah. 5-minute bullish fair value gap. No, nothing super obvious just yet. It's really all I'm looking for today. I've been looking for longs around this area using fair value gaps, but prior to the news, yeah, we didn't respect this bullish fair value gap. We closed below, bearish volume imbalance, we got out of this one. Then we tried to long with this bullish volume imbalance, but we didn't leave it open, so I closed out this one. And then, yeah, too early before news. Not a fan of being in a position or getting into a position a couple of minutes before the news release. So to move to the upside, and then we framed the paper trade short. So one out of two. Let's take a look at the 5-minute bullish fair value gap. Just hit the consequent encouragement with the body. So until we close below that, there's no reason for me to believe why we would reverse right from here. Just looking at the 5-minute time frame. Old resistance being used as support now. Yesterday's new week open, last week's new week opening gap. We're not really moving nicely here. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Not a nice trend. Take a look at NQ if it's also showing some signs of weakness. Take a look at both on a 1-minute time frame. No SMT divergence. Nope, no SMT divergence yet. Between both, let's keep an eye on that. Equal lows. No. And how has that been playing out, Cool? Some scalps. Nice. That 250k Vegas account, baby. Go back to the 1 minute. So we hit the consequent encouragement of that 5-minute bullish. On the 1 minute, we see it more detailed. We hit that, wick around it, and we move away from it, out of this area. Looking at the 1 minute, 10:30, inefficiency right here. We still have equal high buy side. We already used this bearish fair value gap to trade into our 5-minute and 1 minute bullish down here. So we used that correctly. This is our little inversion fair value gap that also kept holding resistance to deliver us lower. Just taking it from PD array to the next PD array. Alright, so here we took out the short-term high. Hit the consequent encouragement of this bearish fair value gap. Back above the new day opening gap. Rebalance this candle. We closed. Did we close it back above? Yeah, we closed back above. So let's keep an eye on that. Not many volume imbalances so far. Target PM buy side. Take a look at NQ. Almost at the high. Mm, mm, mm. Let's see if we get a potential inversion fair value gap here before we hit buy side. But if we hit buy side first, I would scratch that idea. $69.79, that's a solid 10-point move of this bullish fair value gap here. Alright, well, scratch that idea. Glad I didn't place my limit order just yet, because we didn't close above our bearish fair value gap. In Q, now we have potential SMT divergence. In Q formed a higher high, ES failed to form a higher high. This still remains a bearish fair value gap. Let's see how that's gonna play out. The XY keeps going back. Bullish fair value gap. Let's see. Let's be patient. We still respect this old inversion fair value gap here with the candle bodies. Let's see SMT with NQ. Just noting that. This could be a potential 2022 market structure shift. If we close below that on NQ after sweeping buy side. Otherwise, we might find support on the discounts that we have left behind. So right now we close at the consequent encouragement of the bearish fair value gap. Take a look at the 30-second. Not helpful. Take a look at the 5-minute. Bounce off our old Asia London session high, paired with the 5-minute bullish. New week opening gap. Back above the new day opening gap. Still not clear. I'd say it would have been if we closed above the inversion fair value gap, but during the last couple of seconds on that 1-minute candle, we immediately snapped back, rejecting from that area. Keep that in mind. I mentioned a potential 2022 setup on NQ. NQ is relatively speaking much higher, already above PM buy side. This would be your market structure shift level, your break-in structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, breaker block, bearish fair value gap potentially for a potential short opportunity. And there goes the market structure shift on NQ. Potential bearish fair value gap. I'm gonna only follow it on ES, but I pointed it out here. I don't trade NQ. But we will keep up to date with it, or stay up to date with it. With that same level right here on ES. Lowest down closing candle here. So first of all, a inversion fair value gap. This area would be our breaker block, but we're just back inside that 5-minute bullish. We didn't really sweep buy side. Only on the NQ we really did. SMT divergence, 5-minute time frame. Yeah, 5-minute bearish market structure shift very soon as well. I'm gonna try the short here with micros because the stop loss is rather demanding right here. Bearish fair value gap. 3-point stop here. If we even get filled. We already retested the low of the breaker block, theoretically this wick low. Let's see, we have the VWAP here and the midnight level to break before we eventually reverse into the low of the day. All right, so we're filled with 5 micro contracts on our lowest bearish fair value gap here. Inversion fair value gap right there. I want to see my entry fair value gap to be respected. Bearish fair value gap. If I don't see that, this could just end up being a stop hunt and we continue back into buy side. Let's see. No, close right back at the high of our highest 1-minute fair value gap. If we look at that on the 5, looks more bullish than bearish to me. We didn't shift structure on the 5 on NQ either. We're back at the breaker block on NQ. Cutting my risk here. Not what I'd like to see. If I take a entry on that. Cutting right through my entry fair value gap. Closing both consequent encouragements, ignoring the inversion fair value gap, back above the new day opening gap. More interested to see us continue into buy side now. Like we said, we didn't want this to end up as a stop hunt, and that's exactly what happened. That's why we cut our risk short. How much did we end up losing? $100 of our London profit. Back inside this old area. Five-minute time frame. This would be an inversion fair value gap now. Bit of a bullish one, but I don't like how we've been trading inside this range. I saw the potential for the 2022 setup with SMT divergence, but didn't want to deliver that, and I'm not holding until we hit buy side above. This is already invalidated for me. New bullish fair value gap. This is a inversion now. Can scratch that one. Inversion. Take a look at NQ. NQ hit that highest bearish fair value gap. So that 2022 model here is still in play theoretically. Didn't disrespect the fair value gaps or inefficiencies. Now, I don't like how it has been trading inside this range, so just trusting this fair value gap here blindly. Don't like to do that. Even if it ends up playing out, imagine this as a paper trade right here. New day opening gap, inversion, fair value gap, bullish fair value gap, stop below the low. Target 1.75 risk reward into PM buy side. We have left behind fair value gaps left and right here. We go up, we go below them, we ignore them. So why would I trust it right here? There's no point. Exactly. And it's also a pretty big bullish fair value gap in order to use my usual risk management approach, where if we close below that, I'm just gonna exit manually, but in this scenario that's already possible. NQ hit the inversion fair value gap above here, rejected from that. So, like I said, 2022 setup on NQ is still in play. Yes, just might be delivering very ugly into this 2022 setup. Let's take a look back at the 5-minute time frame. Nope, 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 nope. 15-minute. No sign of any kind of structure shift or momentum shift. Weekly lows back below the inversion fair value gap after closing back above it. Yeah. Tricky. At least on ES right now. Keep an eye on NQ. DXY EU. Yo. No questions? Unless there are questions, yeah, feel free to ask me. Nothing on the 5 except this bullish fair value gap right here still. So right now we're still in that bullish share value gap trade. Right here, high of the bullish share value gap. Stop loss right at this candle's low. Target 5 points and PM buy side. But I'm not taking it on my funded account because of the way we've been trading inside this range right at below the PM buy side. We close back above our highest bearish fair value gap on NQ, above our inversion fair value gap. Our breaker block is still intact, I'd say. Yeah, let's maybe look at it on a 5-minute time frame. Well, kind of hard to call it a break on the 5-minute. Well, look at this New York session so far. I'm pretty happy with the amount of executions I had. Only one where I tried to short a potential SMT divergence of the high of the day. Bearish market structure with 2 displacement fair value gaps short, coming off a bearish fair value gap above. Invalidating these fair value gaps immediately. No point for me to keep holding on to the trade. Keep my losing trade small, my winners big. That's the philosophy. Yeah, let's do it on Friday. Oh, midweek. Now it's holding support back above this old inversion for bullish fair value gap. Inversion fair value gap. Yeah. What's the time? It's 10:38, so the SilverBullet hour is almost over. That's all we really did. We didn't really do much. Let's say PM buy side should be a realistic target. Coming off this bullish fair value gap. Let's see if we can get the close above this finally, or if we keep on rejecting there. DXY is pushing back to the upside, and the EU, yeah, does the opposite like always. Leaving behind a new bullish inefficiency. So being in the trade, we want to see bullish discounts that we leave behind being respected for the continuation higher into PM buy side. Like we did respect this 1 minute bullish. Already talking about the 5 minute, let's see, we open with a 5 minute bullish volume imbalance here. But yeah, since 10 AM all we've did is range inside this area right here. Still looking good for the potential long. So I'm waiting for a nice setup on the 1 minute. We have equal low sell side just below the short-term low. So if we fail to hold this bullish share value gap, I'd be looking forward for price to retrace into this short-term low. But as long as we respect this, we should see price moving up higher. EU continuing lower. NQ struggling. So let's see where we're going to close. Still holding that consequent encouragement. Short-term low. And our bearish value gap, let's extend that. It's 10:42. Getting closer to the end of the SilverBullet timing window. Until 11 AM, New York local time. And Q also keeps on holding this new bullish value gap here. Let's see if we can get the first close above our CE, above this bearish value gap. So far we only wicked it and closed right at it, but we didn't close above it yet. This would be the next good sign for us continuing higher to be PM buy side equal high. Opening up with a volume imbalance right here. This is a sweep or stop hunt. Let's see if that remains open. And if we get our first close above, there we go. NQ also about to form a new higher high. Let's see if my inversion fair value gap entry gets triggered before we take out buy side as a continuation setup, now that we are seemingly respecting bullish order flow. But the way we haven't been respecting any of the inefficiencies led me to not trust any of that stuff here. This could have been a possible entry after respecting the 5 minute, but no, the 1 minute right here. Let's see. 13 seconds to go. A new bullish value gap right there. Overlapping nicely with our inversion before we hit potential buy side. Volume imbalance. Not gonna take that aggressive entry. But this could be a potential paper trade. We're still on our first paper trade from down there for a quick 2-point scalp. Volume imbalance is a sign of continued bullish order flow, and there we go. All right, we hit PM buy side. I'm gonna remove my limit order. All right, let's see if that volume imbalance remains open after sweeping the high, and check if NQ also cleared the high. NQ, yeah, NQ also pushed back above the high, so a fake 2022 model on the 1 minute time frame. Not visible on the 5. On the 5 we only swept this low, we didn't close below that. Okay, volume imbalance remained opened. Unfortunate that we didn't get our inversion fair value gap retest. The volume imbalance entry, yeah, I could have taken that and added to the position if we retrace. But we were able to tell that it's not worth holding on to the short. once we saw the close above that fair value gap right here. Of course, we could have immediately swept over to, if it's not short, it has to be long, right? But, well, not in this type of behavior. It's dangerous because you then could end up going long, short, long, short, long, short, and by the time it finally breaks out, you already put yourself in so much trouble. It's hard to get out of it. All right, let's see. We closed above PM buy side on both ES and NQ, did we? Yep. 5 minute. 5 minute bullish. If I would have known that, I should have had the 5 minute chart open here. Volume imbalance entry, 3.5 points. Right, so let's see if we keep on respecting bullish order flow if we start to do the opposite. Time is 10:47, so we're getting closer and closer to the new hourly candle right here at 11 a.m. Entering the macro. We close below the volume imbalance and below the bullish 1 minute fair value gap. Inversion fair value gap. Only worth a paper trade to me at this time. After running buy side, we start like right here. We respected bullish order flow, hitting our target, and now we leave behind inefficiencies, but we don't happen to respect them anymore. This could be just volatility. That's why I'm not taking a live trade based on that. But I hope someone was able to follow along the tape reading and maybe got in on this bullish value gap right here. Took the volume imbalance entry or just jumped in with the market. All right, so we closed back above it. Let's see if there are any questions. Tighten up these fair value gaps and leave behind the unfilled ones. Nope, nothing on Discord. And let's see, Google Chrome. Nope. Short-term high. Keep following price until 11 a.m. See how that goes. 1 minute time frame. Wanna watch out for potential SMT. We sweep the high, but we didn't on NQ. Let me set an alert for that. Next buy side on ES. What did we map out? 15 minute would really be all the way up here at 4588. Let's go to the 5 minute and see. Next buy side liquidity, we have a unfilled volume imbalance right here to the right. Let's try to expand that out. Now let's zoom in here quickly. Volume imbalance, extend right. Buy side liquidity. Volume imbalance paired with a bearish value gap. That's where we are at right now, I guess. Extend right. Let's go back. Do we still have SMT divergence? Yep. As of right now, we do. What's the time? 10:51, so we're inside the macro around the New York AM session end, so 10:50 right here. That's what people draw it like all the time. This little rectangle until 11:10. See if we see any signatures of algorithmic price delivery around this time. NQ still didn't take out the high. One push, two push, no. Buy side at 4588. Okay, NQ also formed a higher high and actually left behind a fair value gap right here to potentially enter on. Yes, unfortunately it didn't. New bullish volume imbalance. Getting closer to this 5-minute one. That's a 5-minute bearish, correct? Yeah, 5 and 15-minute bearish fair value gap high. And unfilled volume imbalance before we hit buy side. Let's see. Volume imbalance. Let's see if that remains open. 2.5 points and 7 points to buy side liquidity. Okay, that remained open. We left behind a tiny little bullish fair value gap. Let's see if that tiny bullish fair value gap can hold up. Otherwise, I'm going to take the loss below the short-term low. Getting in pretty late. That's the only thing I don't like about the setup. But I'd say it's worth the risk. Ten seconds to go. Looking like I'm going to get stopped out here. We close below the bullish fair value gap. Let's give it a little bit of room to breathe. Inversion fair value gap though. Let's keep an eye on that. Reduce the risk below the slow. Alright, back inside our volume imbalance. Don't want to see it reject from here. So let's protect our stop here at the extreme high point. Because we have to keep in mind this is a potential inversion fair value gap. But if the bullish momentum wants to continue, I let it. Take profit target coming in. Let's see, let's look for 5 points ideally. But I think that might be too much. Let's go for 3. We risk 2. We have this unfilled volume imbalance above here. Then see how we continue. If we close back above this fair value gap, that would be nice. And ideally, no, new bullish volume imbalance. So let's just keep on following order flow. Alright, stop loss below the slow is fine. Now we're inside this 15-minute bearish fair value gap right here. Formed a new short-term high. Take a look at NQ. Let's see if this volume imbalance remains open. That would be ideal for our long setup right here. Put that over here so we have a clear view. Volume imbalance, we get back above that volume imbalance and hold support on our old bullish fair value gap. See if that remains open. Now we close it in. $10.57, getting closer and closer to the new hourly candle. Take a look at the 5-minute time frame for a second. Volume imbalance, bearish value gap. Could be reason to see why we might gonna be why we might reject here. Our stop is already protected. Another bullish volume imbalance. $10.58. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Potential reversal setup could be boiling here with potential SMT. But until we close below, no reason for us to believe that we're gonna continue lower. So right now, 3-point target, 1.5 risk reward. 10.58. Let's see if we can get a nice bullish closing candle. For a top wick maybe, and a new bullish volume imbalance. Fingers crossed, let's see. No, but a nice bullish momentum candle without a upper wick. 10.59. Getting closer and closer to our new hourly candle. I'm keen to move my take profit target to 5 points, but I'm gonna leave it at 3 for now. If I would have entered with 2 contracts, I could have done that. 3 points, 12 ticks, 12 times 12.5. $150, and then I'm up at $200 for the day. Alright, I might protect my stop here for the new hourly candle at break even. Bullish volume imbalance on the hourly. Yeah, fuck it, I go for 5 points. New hourly we would have hit our take profit target. Now we're likely gonna hit the stop. We see that reaction of the unfilled volume imbalance right here. That was our target. Remember that on the 5-minute time frame and 15. Unfilled volume imbalance. Don't get thrown off by this little wick here. What is drawing? That's stupid. Let's see. Stops is already protected. We got some new momentum on the new hourly candle. Could see a short-term retracement. Nothing is at risk anymore. Stop is protected at break even. 5 point is the target. See if this volume imbalance will be closed in or if it remains open. I would prefer it to be left open. And we just closed it and we didn't close back below it. Below the previous candle's closing price. That's why volume imbalances are so damn good as targets. 3 points. Maybe should have taken that. But I think it was a great exercise drill for everyone watching on YouTube and Discord. How I managed the risk actively while still, while engaging at the high of the day. Following structure. Guess I got a bit greedy here, but like I said, stop is protected at break even. Nothing at risk here. Might get lucky. 5-minute time frame. This is still a volume imbalance on any time frame higher than the 1 minute time frame. We only closed it on the 1 minute, that's why I leave it here. We also see that volume imbalance on the 1 hour time frame. That's why I leave it on here, even though we closed below it on the 5, on the 1. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ is not following ES here, putting higher highs in place, but NQ is also up a little higher than ES is. See if we keep on going up, or if we just wick around this bearish value gap here, new bullish volume imbalance. Tricky, 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 tricky. But as of right now, no reason for us to get out of the trade. Or is there any signs of bearish order flow on the 1 minute? I don't see it. Worst thing that could happen is us getting stopped out at break even, or us hitting our 5-point target. Buy side liquidity up here could even be holding it into this area. Let's see, 150 bucks. Stop loss is already 1 tick in profit. And Q is still struggling to make a higher high. Let's see if we can push above this unfilled volume imbalance here if we keep hitting a wall there. 15 minute. 5 minute. Go back to 1 minute. New bullish volume imbalance. Not the cleanest price action in terms of wicks, but, well, I hope that trade has some educational value. No time to zoom out here. And Q's still not able to make a new higher high. So while ES has been putting in place all these higher highs, NQ hasn't been following. Another volume imbalance, man, that's crazy. We leave volume imbalance after volume imbalance. We leave them open, let's see. Like I said, our stop is already protected in profit. 1 tick in profit to cover fees. Unfilled volume imbalance right here, so we might reference that again. 11.05, 11.10, yeah, maybe. Yeah, we are gonna drop down here with the SMT between ES and NQ, or we actually gonna continue expand to the upside and head buy side. One of both. Tap the unfilled volume imbalance right here. Let's see if we leave or respect the highest ones right there. 3, 2, 1, and we leave it open again. Still good signs. We're playing around our level of resistance, that 15 5-minute unfilled volume imbalance. 11.05, this is a new 5-minute candle right here. Also open with a bullish volume imbalance, respecting this old 5-minute bullish volume imbalance that remained open. So theoretically, I know it's messy with all the wicks, but I hope it makes sense. Took out the high one more time. NQ seems to be following now. We're above our 15-minute volume imbalance and 5-minute volume imbalance, at least on a 1-minute time frame. Thinking of trailing my stop here into profit. I put it 1 tick below this unfilled volume imbalance. So we even make profit if we get stopped out. Otherwise, we're going to hit our target. We could even... No, not going to do that. 5 points is all I'm looking for. Content with enough. But we have our draw on liquidity with this potential buy side coming in at 4588. That could potentially be delivered into during the macro. Of course, doesn't have to, and we can reverse from right here. Like I said, no worries with that. That would even net us 1.5 points. Five-minute time frame. All right, there we go. We got stopped out eventually. This has been a fun ride. Take a look at NQ. If NQ did anything similar, not really. Where did we get in? Right here on this volume imbalance, and we've been taking it all this way to the upside. Funny. So we're back up $120 in profit for the day. Could have closed, yes, but I mean, where's the point of setting a target if you always close because you're scared of losing your profit? We trailed our stop loss. Healthy thing to do. Below short-term lows. Break even would have been right here. So let's see if break even would have been a smarter choice. $11.09. $11.10. We would have been stopped out at break even. So this way we secured some partials or some profits actually. Perfect. I like that. All right, guys. So let's see if we have any questions. Yeah, I think I did fine too. I enjoyed this little scalp. Managed to risk fine. Now we could see a potential short-term retracement with a market structure shift, but that price action here really gives me the chills. And especially if we go back to the 5-minute, there's nothing here. We have SMT with NQ, that's the only interesting thing, but it's outside the kill zone for me. Might come back for the PM session, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that. I think we had a pretty good tape read. We didn't do much before the news candle, and then we used this bearish value gap for the short into this inefficiency. We tried to get short for the continuation short. Didn't happen. Ended up being a sweep. Then we've been a little bit too cautious, but I don't think you can be too cautious, especially once we see two sets of PD arrays, the bullish one and the bearish ones, being completely invalidated. After this bullish value gap, yeah, volume imbalance entry right here, another volume imbalance entry, and then we took it right at the high, but still almost took it up, following price action to 4585. Not bad at all. And with that new 1105 market structure shift, got the continuation lower. But I could care less. I'm done for the day. Ended up in profit. What more could you ask for? You have a short entry. That might play out. Might. Just manage it well. Like I did here. Not the best entry. By far not the best entry into this trend of this volume imbalance, but spot on risk management, I'd say. That's why I ended up making profit on it after all. Initially, we saw it closer below the bullish fair value gap, but we immediately, with the bullish volume imbalance, saw the push back to the upside. At that point in time, I already moved my stop from this wick low to this wick low. Now we used the bullish fair value gap as support and moved away from it. And we started to leave behind all these volume imbalances here, hitting some higher time frame inefficiencies right here and there, without continuing higher to buy side. Of course, we could see the rejection from here, but yeah, market structure shift, confirmation right here, retest. Yeah, could have, but I'm missing the bearish fair value gap for me to take my entry. I very much like my fair value gaps for the entry. For the risk management. We didn't see that here, continued lower. Didn't reference any of the volume imbalances here anymore, especially not this unfilled one. Started the name market entry short. I don't see something we could have used. Take a look at NQ. NQ also dropping. Yeah, also looked at something similar, a retracement, but yeah, we just ran away. Trapping volume long. Took out most of the short-term lows here. Could do anything now. Back inside the 5-minute bullish. Market structure shift would be tricky here, even on a 5-minute time frame. On a 2-minute, could just end up being a retracement. But I think I'm gonna leave it at that for today. Might be coming back for the PM session. If I see any interesting setups on the higher time frames, I'm gonna share it on Discord with the VIP members. So unless there are any other questions, I'm gonna call it a day. Let's see if we have anything on YouTube. My profit target is 4592.25. 4592.25. Come on, move. 4592.25. Yeah, never got to it, unfortunately. Started to sell off with that new hourly candle. Macro. But without giving a nice, well, nah, 30 seconds. Let's check that out. Higher high, higher low, higher high. No fair value gap entry on the 30-second either. So right here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This would have been our break in structure with our breaker block. And we just ran away from that. So other than a market entry, that wouldn't have worked. That's the thing with market entries. Most of the time when we do take market entries, those are late FOMO entries and we get thrown in somewhere down here. Because right here we're still not sure, because we might come back to the fair value gap or breaker block. Then it's moving away so much that we stop thinking and click the button and we're in short. Then it comes back to the area again. We know the drill. All right, interesting New York session. Glad I ended today in profit. Still up around 4% on the funded account. Took a little hit yesterday during London, and then I wasn't able to trade New York. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. During this NFP week, price action has been trickier, especially during the London kill zone. But we managed to make our profits anyway. Now we're just selling off without stopping. And we all know it triggers us to go short. Like, just jump in. It might continue to drop lower. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. If I jump in now, maybe I get 5 points out of it. That little devil on our shoulder. Nope. Only possible entry would have been a fair value gap right here. If you want to say, oh, you could have entered on the breaker, yeah, the breaker would have been up here, the textbook breaker. Lowest down closing candle between our higher high, higher low, higher high. We break that structure, we take that, never retrace into it. Of course, you could also say, oh yeah, this is the breaker. Nah. You could use it as a breaker if you think it's not going to continue higher than that, and then it would have worked. But it's not the textbook breaker. Unfortunate. Now all the way back to the VWAP. This was a nice drop of 15 points. Fuck. 15 points just like that. Not bad. Not bad. I feel sorry for trap longs that didn't get out in time. All up here. From here all the way to here. Nah, forget it. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it a live stream. Let's see, hard rejection of the 4-hour fair value gap. Yeah, almost to the tick, yeah. 4-hour bearish fair value gap. We close above the 1-hour bearish fair value gap though. There's always something if we look for a reason why it rejected here. Might be the 69-minute time frame or the 420-minute time frame. If you want to look for something, there's always a reason. That's why going with the flow works so well. Of course, we look for higher time frame reference points. And this is just melting. We still have these equal lows on the previous day's low below. But chasing this after it dropped 20 points already? Ooh, that's dangerous. Dangerous territory. Of course, it could just continue to melt. And we hit the previous day's low with our equal low sell side. But be warned. Be warned. 15-minute time frame. I wouldn't know how you'd properly manage that risk. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna call it. Thanks very much for joining in today. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow. Bye. MMSM. Yeah, but for the market maker sell model, we're kind of missing the retracement into some inefficiencies that we leave behind. Like, this is just a drop. Not much market maker potential entries right here with inefficiencies. Yeah, we leave them behind, we cut right through them, but we never retest any of that stuff. Maybe on NQ. Not on NQ. Right, so we hit the midnight level, took out sell side right here below 1030. Let's see what happens once we enter the New York's PM session. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to not chase this. Alright, that's done.